Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mr. Fisher. We are going to be working through IXL I.3 about solving equations with variable exponents.
Well now, hey there kids, does everybody know what time it is? It's time to do some IXL!
I wanted to start with I3 because we did do a tiny little bit about I1 and 2. What you're going to see in these questions, it's going to tell you to solve for the variable exponent. That's this little part, teeny tiny part right up there. And if you remember anything about exponents, exponents is the idea that when you have a number like this, or an equation like this, what you're basically saying is that if you take the number 2 and multiply it by itself this amount of times, so 1, 2, 3 times, that's why there's a 3 up there, you will equal this number. And if you break this apart, you'll see that that's true. The first 2's, 2 times 2 is 4. Then I do 4 times 2 to get the final number of 8. So this is telling me that 2 to the third power is 8. Here my base is 3, my variable is c, and on the other side of the equation I have 27. Now I want to make sure that you don't immediately revert back to your basic facts and say, oh, this must be 9 because 3 times 9 is 27. That is not how this works. No. When you have 3 to an unknown power, what we're thinking about is how many times do I need to multiply 3 in order to get to 27? So let's take a look at this because I think that the correct answer is 3 times. I take 3 times 3, that gives me 9. Now I take 9 times my last 3, that gives me 27. That shows me that 3 to the third power is 27. In that box, you're writing what the exponent is. Here I have 6 to the s power equals 36. I know that 6 times 6 is 36. I can see that I have 2 6's. That means that the other way that I could write this is 6 squared is 36. So my exponent is going to be 2. P equals 16. I know that 4 times 4 equals 16. That means my exponent is 2. 4 to the second power of 4 squared is 16. A lot of what you're going to have to rely on for these early parts is your knowledge of basic facts, basic multiplication. Once we get up around the 36th percentile mark, you can see the numbers just get a little bit bigger. The concept isn't different though. So I need to figure out how many times am I multiplying 10 to get to 1,000. As always, my opinion is, if you need to use a calculator to help you solve these, go right ahead. I know that I at least need another 10, but that only gets me to 100. I know I'm going to need at least another 10, so 100 times 10, that gives me 1,000. My exponent must be 3, because I've multiplied 10 1, 2, 3 times. I'm going to quietly answer just a few of these here. You can see most of these problems follow the same kind of pattern. At the higher levels, they're asking you to understand groups of tens. And one of the ways that you can make a shortcut on this is just simply count how many zeros are in the answer, because that's going to be your exponent. 10 to the fourth power, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in it. And we can double check that. 10 to the second power is 10 times 10, 100. You can see I have 1 0, 2 zeros, 1 0, 2 zeros. My exponent is 2. 10 to the third power. 10 times 10 times 10. I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros. Watch my answer. There's my 1, 2, 3 zeros. 10 to the fourth power. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Here's my 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 4. 10 to the 4th power, that is a shortcut. Ah, now this starts to get a little bit trickier. You may have noticed that I started out just with a different type of pattern. Again, if you need a calculator, go right ahead. So this would be 3 to the 2nd power. Erase just this 3 to the 3rd power would be 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the 4th. I think that was 81. I remember that from an earlier problem. And here's another way that we can think about this. Instead of doing 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, I could just do 81 times 3. And that will also get me to 3 to the 5th power. 81 times 3, that's 3. 8 times 3 is 4. There's my answer. 3 to the 5th power. So like all of math, there are lots of different ways that you can get to these answers. And ultimately, the biggest and most important reason why we have you solve these kinds of problems is so that your brain can practice all of those different kinds of thinking. You're going to find there's lots of different challenges in life and lots of different routes you can take to find the resolution towards that problem. And this type of mathematical thinking helps you practice problem solving because there's lots of different ways to do these. So you can see even at the 72nd percentile, they're still throwing in just some basic facts questions. 4 times 4 is 16. So that tells me my exponent is just 2. 4 to the 2nd power is 16. This one I believe is going to be 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So you can think of this. Again, this is a different way to think about it. This is 2 squared. This is 2, 2 to the 3rd power. This is 2 to the 4th power. There's just lots and lots of different ways that you can think about it. I'm going to be online Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. You guys from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you are confused about this stuff, come online, find me, email me. Making myself available to you. Rewatch this video. I'm going to throw some other resources onto Google Classroom this week to help you guys out. So we'll do I.3 and another one this week. That's all for now. Bye-bye.